is often assumed that you and I are equal, whereas in Japan it is assumed that you are my superior. And when American friends get together, they say that you and I are relaxed, whereas in Japan they might say that I am busy on your behalf. The culture we grow up in has a heavy impact on how we think. My name is Nathan Potts, and I'm an American living in an individualistic society, but I've had the privilege of studying the collectivistic society that is often practiced by many Eastern countries. The difference between Western and Eastern cultures is often has an impact on how the individuals think. The collectivistic society focuses more on how the community is working, whereas an individualistic society focuses on self-interests. First, let's talk about collectivism. Collectivism, the central focus is on the community and how the community integrates into everyday life. In Japan, a supervisor is likely to know many of the private details of his or her subordinates' lives. Things like if there's a death in the family, if there's a new child that has been born, if a son or daughter has graduated from school, the list goes on. Child raising is often considered a community event and is not just based on the parents. Often parents, or if a parent fails to successfully bring up their child, they're often handed off to the grandparents to get a better upbringing. Laws, too, are based on communal protection, and the punishments can be very severe. Hoover mentions a case in his book, Individualism versus Collectivism. In 1964, an American teen spray-painted 17 cars in Singapore and was sentenced to 6 strikes from a cane. As you can see, in Singapore, the society is based on protecting the community, and the community realizes that it's been injured. But now let's talk about individualism. In an individualistic society, the focus is on self-interpretation and self-expression. In the 1960s, the American culture shifted as children started to question their parents' values. A survey done by the DYG scan found that their father's nose to the grindstone and their mother's self-sacrifice for their family was unnecessary at a time of emerging affluence. Marriage is also found to be a very individual-based thing, as opposed to a collectivistic society where it's 2 families coming together. So as you can see, these are 2 completely different societies and cultures. The culture we grow up in has a severe impact on how we think. In collectivism, it is based on community and integrating community into all aspects of life. In individualism, it is based on self-interests. It is important that we know the difference between these 2 cultures as we all come together today as immigrants are coming to the United States from the East. And we can work together to combine these 2 and make better decisions, not just for the community, but for the individual as well.